Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how'd it go?
Good. So he has no buses, but
Oh,
he's going to reach out to some other bus companies that he knows and see if he can help me piecemeal
yeah.
a few bus companies. I told him I'm willing to do that. So, and he said I can't use a party bus because it's against school regulations, but it's not a school event. So I'm wondering if we just get parents to sign off if we come down to the party bus thing. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but isn't like the PTO insurance on it though?
I don't know. Is it? I mean, you are signing, so yeah, probably.
Because like, isn't that why you had me? Well, I don't know why I had to sign, but I don't. Isn't that
Right.
why the community needs to be involved?
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah, he can piecemeal something for me together.
Oh, really? That's nice.
Oh my God. Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you right now, I just keep running up against no, we can't. No, we can't. We have nothing. We have nothing. So I'm
Yeah.
actually thinking, tonight I'll be mentioning that we might have to actually carpool. Who's got vans? Let's start figuring this out.
You mean like renting vans and like BAC and driving people?
Yeah, 200 students is usually what we have.
Yeah, but there might be less if the price is super high. 'Cause you can't fundraise.
Well, if we don't have to pay for the buses, then the price that brings down the price like $20 because the buses are almost $9,000 for.
Wow. But how much would a bunch of vans cost?
Well, that's the thing.
Okay, so wait, before you get on, I just found out I have to report for jury duty tomorrow. I've never gone there. Have you?
No, I haven't been since the pandemic.
Yeah, I've never gone. I'm like, oh my God, how do I get out of this? Because I have to work. Not tomorrow, but like next week. And then I'm traveling in 2 weeks again for Lilith, the one for has her me. Oh, okay. But yeah, I have a minivan. I can drive my minivan, but yeah, but that's kind of a liability, right?
Well, I think as long as we have enough insurance, I don't know. If that's how we have to go, that's how we have to go. I'll figure it out.
God, 200 people in vans. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. 20 vans at least,
Oh my gosh.
right?
Gosh. That's
But I mean, it is what it is. We can't do anything about it. Anyway, I gotta
yeah.
add the people in, and we're recording, by the way.
Oh, okay.
We've been recording, so I'm glad you didn't swear or
Oh,
use foul language.
he's on there.
Okay, I'm gonna admit all.
Okay, do you want to mute me? Because I don't want to like touch my phone as I'm driving.
Okay, I'm muting you now.
Okay, thanks. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't think I can mute you. Oh no, you're muted. Okay. I'm slowly admitting everybody. And I am recording this because I know a lot of people aren't able to attend tonight. So the video will be available for people to look at if they couldn't make it tonight. I'm Sandy Delbalsa, by the way. I was last year's PTO president. Actually, for 2 years, I was PTO president. Now I'm the PTO secretary. And it's my last year. My daughter is a senior, obviously. And I'm trying to help put together this grad night and the events leading up to grad night. So we also have senior activity day, which is something we will be talking about tonight. And senior activity day is, let me look at my calendar real quick, just so you can all get it on your calendar. May 12th, Friday, May 12th is senior activity day, which is, the senior council puts that together. And the parents, we usually just help them with putting the breakfast together, which is more like the brunch at 10 o'clock when it starts. And so we'll just have like a sign up genius for people to do stuff and sign in for that. Let me see. I don't want everybody to be muted. I think if you can all unmute yourselves. If you want to ask or talk, you can just unmute yourself. Okay. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Yes. Okay. So you're all allowed to unmute yourselves if you want to talk, because I'm not really in charge. I'm just sort of leading the charge for now until I can get more help. Okay, so let's go down everything that's happening. So we've reserved the place. If you haven't heard, we're going to be going to Boomers in Livermore, which is what last year did. And it was actually really good compared to previous years because it's much closer than the other venues. And there's so much to do. And the price was pretty reasonable. The biggest hiccup so far is the buses. So I had booked the buses back in May of 2022 with the company that we have used for the past 8 years, or I guess 7 years, because this would have been the 8th year. And they just went out of business. So now I'm on the hunt for buses, which now they tell me they're all booked because all the high schools have already booked them. So I spoke with a gentleman tonight who was one of my leads from the previous bus company, and he's actually reaching out to several bus companies and seeing if we can piecemeal a bunch of buses together. So we might have several, like 4 bus companies, because typically we need 4 of these charter buses that seat 55. On average, we have about 200 students attending, or a little bit more than that. And then if I don't have buses, or we don't have buses by, I would say, April, we're going to have to talk about other options like carpooling, which I kind of giggle at because we're going to carpool. That's a lot of people. Okay, so that's the bus situation. If anybody has any leads, I would love that.
What about a corporation that has corporate buses that bus employees around? Would any of them be willing to do a subcontract?
You mean like Gilead or Genentech?
Or
Yeah.
Visa.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't have any contacts with them. I could look into that, or maybe could somebody look into that? Do you have any contacts?
I don't, but it just seemed like an idea.
Yeah.
I can reach out for Gilead and Visa. I'm not sure I know the right people, but maybe they could get me the right people.
Oh, that would be great, Mara. Yeah, if you could get the leads and contact them, or I can even help you contact them, I'm sure we could hopefully figure that out. Yeah, the sooner.
I'm on it already.
Thank you so much, Mara.
Sure.
Well, yeah, trust me, I've been rejected quite a bit. It gets a little disheartening when they keep saying, sorry, there's no buses. You should have called earlier. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I was booked and then my company shut down. Okay, so we have
sorry. What's the date again on that?
Of which one?
The
Grad night?
Sorry. No, grad night is graduation night, right? The 25th?
Yes.
And then the breakfast is when?
Yeah, senior activity day is May 12th.
Thanks.
The Friday. Second Friday of May is senior activity day. And usually the parents of the seniors help out with putting together the breakfast, and then grad night will sell tickets for grad night that day. And also arrange for the buses. So we assign buses. So everybody will have like which bus they're going on. So it's a little bit organized and we can keep track of who's in the buses, make sure everybody's boarded. And that also helps us ensure that everybody's boarded on the way back. So we don't leave anybody behind. Okay, we also, Eudora was able to arrange a restaurant night, which is a week long. It goes from Tuesday, March 21st to Sunday, March 22nd, and it's at B Street and Vine. So from Tuesday, March 21st to Sunday, March 22nd, B Street and Vine will give 15% to Grad Night for anybody who shows up with a digital copy of the flyer or a paper copy of the flyer to get the deal. We'll start advertising that, and we'll encourage people to eat at B Street and Vine every night for 5 days. I'm sure I can figure that out. I don't have to cook.
Thanks, Sandy. Can you hear me or?
Yeah, I can hear you, Eudora.
Great. So I've just started approaching a couple of different places, also Celia's, and I think we can probably also get a pizza place. So I don't know if you have any other people signed up for restaurant night, but I just especially need help with, I'm awful at making flyers. We have some templates, we have a whole schedule and a whole list of other restaurants that last year's people approached and were successful. So if anybody wants to join in, please let me know. I think just approaching one or two other places that you normally go to would probably be most successful. And we can try a couple other places and have some fun places to meet at and also order some food for a break. So just to let you know, but definitely B Street and Vine. Thank you.
Thanks, Eudora. Maybe what I could do also is I could send out a blast to all the senior families again, and give them your contact information, Eudora, for anybody who might want to help participate in helping you design the flyers or work at getting more restaurants for the restaurant nights. Is that okay with
That would
you?
be perfect. Yeah, we just have basically, we're just looking at March and April now, right? Because I know you're going to start selling tickets very soon, right?
Yes.
Right. So we kind of want to know how much we're raising. So
Yeah, we definitely want to have a conclusion with what we've raised by the first week of May so that I can set the prices. Yeah.
okay. Yes. So we're just going to try to get whatever restaurants we can for March and April and see if they can donate a percentage. And it's a win-win if we can, support the local businesses as well. Right. So
Definitely.
Hi, Sandy. It's Judy. Hi, Dora. I have a restaurant in Redwood Shores who wants to participate. Is that too far?
In general, let's see. It kind of depends. Okay, so it's a little far just because I think most people around school, I guess if you tell families, hey, let's go, unless you can encourage a group to go out either on a certain week or a certain night or support during the day, like by ordering on takeout or whatever, and they will also let you with the proceeds of that. It might be a little far just because I've found that a lot of families don't really wander outside of the San Mateo-ish or possibly Foster City area. But if it's either very popular or if you can convince a group or say like a team, like a sports team to do something there for that one night, you might be able to, it might work, but we'd have to just kind of, really, really push it. And it'd probably have to be kind of like something that people could, number one, afford, and they would want to go there because it either sounds interesting or it's something they really like.
Yeah,
so,
no, that makes sense. Okay.
So if you want to just contact me, Sandy, you could just try poke, and I would hate to ask for them to support us by this way, and then if nobody went, it would just be like a bummer. But
yeah, that makes sense.
But if we could convince people or make it a special one night thing and convince everybody, you could possibly make some. Thanks, Judy.
Yep, definitely. I can help you out with the restaurants and the flyers too.
Great. Okay, get in touch with me. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yep.
Thanks, Judy. Thanks, Eudora. Okay, so the next is the International Food Fair. I sent out a sign up for the International Food Fair and we only got 3 people who responded. So it's coming up and it's pretty hard to put on a food fair without enough people volunteering to make food and man tables. So I believe we're going to cancel that and focus on another big fundraiser that last year's class did, which was the graduation ceremony gold packages. Last year, they made over $8,000 on this fundraiser, and it's selling the graduation ceremony packages where you would get 6 seats, and which is 2 more than you would normally get, and 2 reserved parking spots in the parking lot. So you don't have to line up early. You would actually have reserved seating. And it did really well. And they sold it as, because we can't have a raffle, it's just called a prize draw. And I think we should start advertising for that pretty quickly. Like I would like to start by the end of February, have the prize draw in early April, and make the deadline like the last Friday of April, and then draw that Monday. So I don't know if anybody's interested in helping put that together. I've got all of last year's flyers and the information that they use. So we might just need to sort of modify all the documents. And even the sign up, it's like a form that you just send out and people can sign up for it and then pay through the internet. So if I could get some volunteers to do that, I'll put out another email requesting for these things. So yeah, so we won't be able to do international food fairs since we don't have enough participants. And then the next big thing that we need help with is the yard signs. So they called it a fundraiser last year, but they earned about $200 because they didn't really charge much. It was $10 per yard sign. I don't know if we want to think about raising the price to $15 and then make it more of a fundraiser. But I also need help setting that up. I sent out an email to the few people who signed up to do the yard signs. Hopefully I'll hear back from them and we can get that started. But it's basically the yard signs that say, you know, San Mateo High School graduate, and you can add your name or not. You can personalize it or not. And there's also window clings that you can purchase if you don't have a yard. So those are the fundraising that we have lined up right now. Okay, so the next thing, let me see if there's anything, make sure I've admitted everybody. Oh, there's chats. Let me look at the chats, sorry. Okay, this is, oh, I don't need to answer any of those, that's good. Okay. Next is Senior Activity Day. We will need volunteers for that. I will definitely send out a sign up genius when that time comes. So the volunteers will set up the breakfast, serve breakfast, clean up, and sell grad night tickets and assign buses. And there will also be a sign up for donations of food. So it's not a big breakfast because it's at 10. Senior Activity Day starts at about 10 a.m. on that Friday. So it's more like their brunch, and then they've already planned their lunch. I'm not sure what the senior council planned, but they said they got it all covered. I heard that they've already got their lunch plan. So all we need to really do is the breakfast, and then have a table there to cover grad night questions, grad night tickets, and hopefully assign buses, because we'll have buses. I was looking at our budget, trying to find ways to reduce the cost of things. And I also spoke with Anne Reef, who was in last year's class, who did this, who were sort of copying what they did last year. And she was telling me that the pizza after graduation was not worth it. So that would save us about $1,500 to $2,000 because we're going to have food at Boomers right when they arrive. We're planning to do, I mean, what they did was burritos. And she said everybody was so full from the pizza that the burritos really didn't go until much later in the evening, and then they were cold. So I'm thinking we'll cancel the pizza after graduation, unless I have a lot of pushback, and instead maybe provide like snack bars or a light snack for people before they get on the bus to have something for the bus ride. And then when they get there, they can grab their burritos and eat. For grad night at Boomers, for $80, we're getting entry into Boomers, unlimited drinks, and all the arcade games that they want, plus access to all the, they have miniature golf, laser tag, bumper boats. What else? There's a lot. There's so much at Boomers. It's kind of crazy. So it should be fun. And it's scheduled to go from 8:30 to 1 a.m. after graduation day. So the buses will load at 7:30, depart at about 8 o'clock or maybe a little bit before that. And then we'll load everybody up at about 12:15, midnight to 12:15, and depart at 12:30 to get back to San Mateo High by 1 a.m. I'd also, we can have some add-ons that might be fun for everybody, like a photo booth. Last year they did buntini bars for dessert, and Boomers is actually providing decorations in our colors, but they're not providing napkins, plates, and that sort of thing. So I think that's all I have. So really, it's just the focus of the buses and some fundraising.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
So you said it's 80, just focusing for a minute on grad night activities.
Yes.
$80 a person.
Yes.
And we're trying to get the price as low as possible for the students. So, X amount of money raised divided by what is the projected quantity of students?
We've averaged about 200 or a little over 200 every year.
Okay, so for every $200 raised, theoretically, $1 comes off the ticket price, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm being,
you need to figure in, so it's just not $80. That's just for the event, the venue.
At
The
Boomers.
buses are $9,000.
Okay.
And that's gone up. I mean, in the past, I think for the class of 2019, I paid maybe a little less than $7,000, but because of gas prices and the fact that they can't get drivers, it's very hard. The price has gone up to about $9,000 now for 4 buses.
You said 200 students?
Yeah, 200 students.
So $45 a person around. So call it 50.
For the buses?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. Plus the venue.
So now we're at 130 a student.
Yep. And then anything else we want to add on, the dinner, the burritos. And I can tell you what they spent last year. Let me just sign into, I actually had it up, but for some reason it went away. What they spent last year. Sorry, just give me a second. And everything, if you want to help with anything, I've got all of the information from what they did last year, and it's we can go from there.
What's considered a successful get for fundraising? Is it something that raises $3,000? Is it something that raises?
No, it's more like 12 to 14,000.
So any singular effort that can bring in $12,000 to $14,000 is considered successful.
Yes.
And
That's
restaurant.
why I'm hoping the graduation ceremony will go real well, because that earned a lot last year. That was over 8,000.
What's your goal? Like in a perfect scenario, how much do you want to raise?
Gosh, everything so that we don't, nobody has
Yeah.
to pay, right? But that's like 30,000.
So 30.
Yeah. 30,000, a little over 30,000 because prices have gone up, but
And estimating what's currently in flight, how much of the 30,000 do you feel do we have line of sight to, and what's the gap?
We have not had very much fundraising at all. So we are probably at, if we could make 20,000, I think that's probably where we're at. Plus, we want to leave a little something for next year. We always leave a little something for next year's class so they don't have zero.
So you think with what's planned, you can get to 20?
Oh, no, I don't. I will tell you right up front, I am not a fundraiser. I've never been a very good fundraiser. That's not my thing. That's why I've been asking for help with fundraising.
Yeah. No, this is my first year, so I'm just trying to hone in on gap and the stretch and stuff. So that's all. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. And if you have any other questions, please, reach out to me. I think you have my info. You have my contact.
I do. Yeah. No, we were talking, about the possibility of a pay to play or a dinner, but I'm trying to run the numbers and see whether or not could we raise enough to make it worthwhile, or is a different path better? That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandy.
Yes.
Yeah. So in general, like you mentioned, last year's the donation to raffle thing was probably the biggest.
Yes.
In general, I think we've, had the benefit of being able to start early and, past years and all that stuff. So, the donations would come in earlier, right? So, and we just haven't had that this year. It's just, right, pandemic, everything. So how do you starting the raffle at open house, or are you just getting it going like as soon as possible, or how's that?
I'd like to get it going as soon as possible. I have all the information. I was actually looking at it today, trying to put it together. But it's really hard doing it by myself because I'm trying to get the buses too. Plus, then it's like, oh shoot, I completely neglected trying to get this big fundraiser off. So I just actually looked at that today, to be perfectly honest.
It's not a one-person job.
Literally 5 minutes before this meeting, I got a call from one of the bus people saying they think they might be able to get me a bus for 50.
Oh, wow. Okay, no, it's definitely not a one-person job, and it's normally been in place earlier, so it's not you at all. So we just wanted to see like how to help you get, I think I've seen extensive, there were websites, begging for donations. That's how the classes normally got the funds, is from what I remember, So I think appealing to the senior class parents, the school, and then I guess our best way is to, the raffle to, I think is probably, so you're probably going to do that. And then maybe have a meeting to get that going, or what, how do you want us to get that going then
well, I'm hoping maybe somebody from tonight's meeting might decide to help out and reach out to me and say they could help put that together. So, and I could give them all of the access to the Google Docs, because everything's, the PTO keeps everything
all set. Yes.
Google Drive. Yeah. And so I can easily just give people access to the documents in the Google Drive, which are flyers, the actual form that they used last year. So you need to update that, which I've actually done a lot of the updating just tonight. So
awesome. Okay.
There isn't too much to do. And Mara, I just saw your chat. So buses, we need buses to be at the school by 7:30 p.m. And then we'll depart Boomers at 1.
Okay, so realistically 2:30 a.m.
No, we'll definitely leave. They got back by 1:30. They were back well before 2:30.
Yeah, but I'm saying like for the buses to be off schedule, it would probably be realistically 2 a.m. before, you have everybody unloaded and they're like dispatched off.
12:30. 1. I know, I think we're shooting for 1:30, but I mean, we could say 2. Yeah. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. 36. So yeah, we could do that. It's hard because they'll charge $950 an hour more. So for each bus, it's $950 an hour. That's the average that I'm getting for all the quotes. So they charge you, the first hour is free, and then you pay per hour after that. And it's not, I'm sorry, $190. Yeah, is that what I said? $190 an hour after the first hour per bus.
Okay. That's helpful. I'm not going after budget. I'm just asking if they have them available first. We'll talk
And I was
money
even
after.
thinking about reaching out to Yvonne and asking her if we could do school buses. Although I think our seniors would absolutely hate that, but if it's all we can get.
I'm sure. I don't know if there'd be an issue with the timeline for that's the only thing I'm worried about with like corporate buses is the liability issues in there.
Yes, there's that. And I know a lot of the times the school buses couldn't do it because they had to be driving the next morning.
Right.
So.
But from a liability perspective, maybe we could just get a corporate company to agree that we could contract with their bus company. I don't know. I don't know how it works, but
right.
Some kind of separation.
Yeah. There's a lot of bus companies out there. That's why I thought I would just try piecemealing them together. Originally, I reached out to them asking for 200 to 250. And I got a lot of no's. And then now I'm going back and saying, I'll just take whatever you have. And I did get one bus for 40 people, but that's just a smidgen. And if we have to, we can use several companies. If we can only get one bus from each company, I figured that would work as well. I'm just going to look at the chat real quick and see. I think we've answered everything in the chat. And I'll put my email address in here if anybody just wants to email me directly, or you can even call or text me. I'll put that in there. And then my phone number. Okay. So that's me. I just put my email address and my phone number in the chat. So if you want to call, text, or email me separately with any questions or suggestions, I'll be happy to hear them, listen to them, and accept any help. So let me see. I was just going to tell you about what they spent last year on the dinner itself. Okay, dinner actually wasn't too bad. It was $1,669, so about $1,700. So let's say $2,000 for dinner for all the students. It was burritos, 4 kinds of burritos, and a chip bar. And like I said, the drinks are included from Boomers. It's unlimited drinks. They can have as many drinks as they want, as well as the arcade. And they spent about $900 on a Buntini bar for desserts. That included gluten-free options and a delivery fee of $50. If we want to do a photo booth, that's about another $900. And that's it. I've eliminated the gift, like a little gift to give the students as they get on the bus, because they spent $1,500 on that. And if we have a huge amount, we can always think about that in the next month or two if we start seeing money come in. But for now, I just want to play it safe. The other thing I was thinking is I could put another request for donations, just sort of blast out, grad nights accepting any donations and give a link to make donations. That's one other thought. So
Yeah, and then would that tie into like the Bearcat total donations, almost like a fund a need?
What do you mean?
Like, does it go to like, if people made that donation, does it go fall under like the parent, at Bearcat, they did fund a
Oh,
need,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it would, do you mean it's tax deductible?
Yeah, like it would,
Oh,
people
yeah,
would.
it is tax deductible if they're doing a donation.
Yeah, that might help. I don't know.
So, I mean, it wouldn't hurt just to put that out there. I can put together that blast and send it out this weekend.
You do have a form that you probably sent out at the beginning of the year. I thought I saw one, so I think people.
Yeah, I do have that form.
Yeah,
So I
just
can
send it out
probably
again. I think we
revise
haven't
that.
seen it in a while. Just send it out again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Sandy, Margaret here, and I may have missed, well, a couple things I may have missed at the beginning. What did the kids end up paying for tickets last year after all the expenses and everything, or after all the fundraising?
So last year they spent $60.
Okay. Okay. I think it would be a great idea to send out the asking for donations again, because I remember it at the beginning of the year, and if people missed it at the beginning of the year, they just may, join in now that it's closer and be more willing to donate.
That's true. And at the beginning of the year, you're bombarded with so many forms. You might just have neglected seeing that. So yeah, and I'll send it out to the entire community and see if we can get anybody to donate anything, right? Every cent helps.
You could also put it out as, a scholarship for anybody, that not, rather than just say, would you like to donate? Would you like to sponsor a student?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I usually bake in, what we've done in the past is we bake in the scholarships. So we usually put aside $1,000 to $1,500 of all our funds, or add it to the overall cost. So that the students who can afford tickets can do that. But I'll look into it. I think I could probably just say, would you like to sponsor one student at $100 or something? And see if we can.
It might appeal more as a personal,
Yeah.
just a thought.
And
but I figured there was usual asks like that.
Yeah, and I think it actually might be on the form, but I'll see if I can rearrange the form to highlight that. So, because we do already have a form out there. So yeah, I'll see if I can update that a little bit.
It's too late now, but I wonder if in future years there couldn't be a small presence about this at Bearcat. Because they've got the general fundraising and then they've got the fund a need. I wonder if a basket or a thing in future, a bidding in future for something couldn't go to that, just to start raising awareness that that's a thing.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I think in past years, we have had a lot more people aware or seeing what's happening. There was more, I don't know how to say this. It was like people were more aware of what was going on because we were on campus a lot more, right?
Yeah, did the COVID pause maybe cool it
Yeah,
off?
I mean, and even now we can go back, but we still haven't gone back. Like we don't have, the PTO hasn't had their meetings. Like we have general meetings that we used to hold on campus once a month where we'd have a speaker come and we'd all get together. But we're still doing that virtually. There's still so many things we're just sort of still doing virtually because when we ask people if they'd prefer to be virtual or in person, everybody still wants to sort of just stay virtual, especially with, COVID rates going up again. I don't know. I keep getting bombarded by emails again that my child's been exposed to COVID. I don't know. It's hard to say why this is. And even just getting volunteers, that has changed significantly in the past 3 years. We used to have so many volunteers for these events that they would fill up. But now we'll put out a volunteer list and we can't fill it. And we're like, well, how do we get people to sign up for this? And then the PTO will just say, well, okay, we'll have to buy that stuff because nobody signed up to bring it. And it's all just since the pandemic that I don't know. And there's the whole economy is not great. So I think it's difficult for everybody to participate as well. And I mean, as I know for me, myself, I used to have a lot more free time, but I'm practically working full time now, which I never thought I'd be doing again, but I am. So, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be working. So yeah, it has been difficult time coming back from the pandemic. It's like, okay, we're back, but participation's still just not there. So that's where we are.
That's across the board, Sandy. It's definitely athletic boosters, trauma boosters, foundation. Everybody's suffering from the same thing.
It is. It's hard.
Is there maybe a shared Google Doc and maybe a thermometer that could be put on the parent notices and emails that go out so that we could raise awareness for how close we're getting to the goal, to see whether or not that doesn't show people that, more is needed and the gap still exists, or we're closing on it and we're close? Is there any way to publicize a fundraising thermometer of get to goal?
Yeah, I remember doing thermometers like that before. I mean, I haven't done it, but we could see.
I just feel like when it's
something.
less abstract, maybe
Yeah.
people feel more likely to act. To the earlier point about fund a student versus just make a donation, and
Yeah, I can see what we can post on the daily bulletin. It's hard because you don't want to bombard people too much with the same notification. People actually will drop off of
no. Well, I'm
Mhm.
suggesting maybe it become a once every other week section, or once weekly section included in the Bearcat newsletter.
in the daily bulletin.
Yeah, so one daily bulletin a week will feature an update on how it's going.
Okay, I can look into that and see if we can do something like that.
I mean, only if it makes sense. It's just a suggestion. I don't know whether or not it will empower people, but it would offer you a link to a donation. It would offer you a link to sponsor a student. It would offer you a link to the restaurant events taking place. It would be like a single point of reference that people could go to see how it's going and what they can do.
Yeah, that would be great. I don't know if I could put that together. I could try. Is anybody good at something like that?
The Bearcat newsletter. I mean, I think it's just talking to them about getting a consistent layout.
The daily bulletin is done by the front office, and everybody submits their blurbs to the front office.
Okay. Well, once there's a blurb, I think
you have to put it together yourself. Like your group has to put it together and then submit it, and then let them know, like, okay, could you publish this every Friday? Sort of thing. But we would also have to update the values.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. The values and the events.
Yeah. So just like a communications thing.
Right. I could talk to the office and see what's involved and whether or not they say, yeah, sure, or whether or not they go, it's kind of hard. So.
Yeah, I think as long as we can get it to them, we could do it. But we just need to have somebody who can commit to doing that on a weekly basis.
Right. And where would they get, and okay, so if it were me,
Yes.
and it could be, I just don't want to disappoint here. So, where would I be? So where would I gather? Would I go directly to Eudora for the restaurant update and to you on the where we are monthly update sort of thing?
Yeah. I mean, we could definitely get the the update on the money from Esther. She's our treasurer and she's also a senior parent. She couldn't make it tonight, but she's happy to help out that way.
I know Esther, I can bug her.
Yeah, so she has insight into all the funds. She's the PTO treasurer and she handles the funds for grad night as well. And then for restaurant nights, yeah, that would be Eudora or anybody else. And we could even say anybody who's working on any of these projects, like the yard signs or even the graduation ceremony tickets, that they include you in the emails on the updates.
Mhm.
Or whoever
Also-
steps up to do the communications.
I also just wonder if there was a bent to it that says, help us raise money to make grad night as inclusive,
Yes.
right? And as safe as possible for our seniors, right? Because that's the two main levers here. The safety of the kids, so they're not all out going rogue, having, not being safe. They've got an activity to be at. And inclusive in that, you shouldn't have to be from a family that can afford it to participate.
Exactly. That's exactly, the message we want to send out. And that's what we definitely try to do. So the students who are in financial need are identified, and Mr. Gill will work with us to figure out who needs funds to go to grad night. Like I said, we'll bake in that cost across the board into the cost of the event. So, but I do like the idea of updating the form to say, sponsor a student and put a value in there to encourage people to donate more, just to sponsor like a student to go.
I have a quick question. This is Veronica.
Hi.
I was just looking and I couldn't find if we had any like social media accounts that we can use to post like announcements. I didn't see one for the PTO because my daughter's in drama, so they have Instagram page for the boosters and kind of just to disseminate information. And another thing I was thinking of it's already too late for this the last musical that they had because they make those big those handouts with the program and
Yes.
and you can typically put like advertising in there too. And it goes to everyone who attends. But they do have another play, but it's not until April. So that might be too late if we can somehow get it on the program.
Yeah.
What about a QR
announcing.
code? What about a QR? No, forget like the announcement's nice, but what about a QR code that people could scan that would go to the link where you can just make your donation? Then you take out your phone, you hit the QR code, you get automatically taken to a donation site, and there's no kind of reading and several next steps.
Yeah, we could probably, I'm sure, make a QR code for that. And where would we put that?
On the program.
Yeah. And so when is the play?
The next one, and I don't know how big of a program they'll have. I know typically the last one that they had, that's usually the one that they have, the big one, that the really thick one that has a lot of advertising in it. So the next one is April 13, 14, 16.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's 13, 14, 16. I mean, that's basically, the tail end of our fundraising for sure. Like I said, by the end of April, we want to know what our finances are. But yeah, if it's direct donation, we'd see it right away, right?
Sandy, I would, that's a great idea, Veronica. I would say in general, if you could leverage the open house, that's where you can get the most traffic, honestly. So I don't know what is planned at this point. I would say either have a table or just have posters everywhere with a QR code. I mean, most parents are not at school ever. and sometimes we don't see the daily bulletin or we just ignore it. I would say utilize the open house and if you're going to do some flyers, post it around or posters or those types of things. And then at the PTO table at the rotunda or wherever, or senior
Yeah,
club.
I think I could probably attach it with at the PT. I'm setting up the PTO table, so
Yes.
I'll
So-
make a
so,
space
yeah.
for grad night.
I would say you should have, and then again, everyone, Sandy can't do this by herself. So if you can even help in a little way, just let her know so that you can help get the flyers out, help make the flyers, help Sandy I mean, she can only do so much as one person. So if you're able to help her with that, then let her, I think open house is probably your best bet to getting the timing wise and getting the traffic, right?
Yeah, I think you're right, Eudora. That's a good
Since we're
point.
not doing since we're not doing the International Food Fair, where we used to have a table with
Yes.
sales. I guess you could start the raffle sales there as well, or not start, but just have a table for the raffle there as well, right?
Oh, that would be great too. We should probably have the raffle definitely set up.
You should have it going already, yes.
Yeah, so that
Yes,
way we
and-
can
Sandy.
And
advertise
you could
the
do more tickets
raffle.
there.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the QR code for
So
direct.
I'm guessing that's gonna be your best bet,
Raffle,
March 10th or whatever.
March 9th. I
March
think.
9th.
9th, sorry, 9th, yes.
Three
And
things:
Sa-
raffle QR code and fund a student.
Yes.
Sandy too, the crab feed is coming up on the 25th. So we could do a plug, we could give a blurb to the DJ, to the announcer guy to do it. We could also, if you wanted to do one of those graduation things, I can talk to the boosters about, that being a fundraiser for, that ticket sales being, I don't know how we would do that, and I'm the treasurer, so portioning out that separate item for you guys, but I can ask. if
Mara,
they-
I know you do have, as one of your items, you do have parking or whatever, but I mean, I thought that was gonna go towards your, I mean.
Right.
I
I'm just
believe that's
trying to
going towards
see.
athletics, so I don't know how
Yeah,
to do that by separating. It's just tricky, right?
yeah, exactly. But we could certainly plug it, and we could have like, a senior night as part of like the table, just for information with the QR code.
Mhm.
Oh, that's true. We could set up a table with the QR code and
Yes, have that available there.
and sort of
yeah.
like advertise the whole grad night thing for all the senior parents and
Right, like have it decorated with graduation like stuff, because
Yeah.
I have a ton of that leftovers
And I'm
waiting
already-
for the next one.
and I'm already going to be there, so
Same here.
I plan to eat crab, so I can be there to answer any questions
Okay, we can talk
or
offline.
people to help volunteer. Okay, thanks, Mara.
Sure.
Thank you, Eudora. Thank you, everybody, for your input, Marlene.
Yeah, I'll be in touch. We'll
Great.
figure it out.
Yeah, text me, call me, whatever is easiest for you.
Yeah, I'll give you a buzz.
Okay. Okay, is there anything else? Any other questions? I think that was all I had to cover. Are these meetings helpful? Should we plan another one soon, like in the next month? Should I try to have it in the next 3 to 4 weeks to follow up?
I'd
Okay,
say
maybe.
3, we're running out of time.
Yeah, 3 weeks, okay.
Have a hit list, Sandy, and just a to-do list, homework assignments, and start listing people off.
Okay,
I've got an email already sent off on the buses.
thank you, Mara.
Sure.
Okay, well, yes, I will start following up with everybody. I have a short list of people who've volunteered for some things, and I'll follow up with everybody to make sure that those things are started and moving. So, and yeah, we'll try to get it all set up so we can have a table at the Athletic Boosters crab feed. And Mara, let me know if that'll work or not.
Yeah, I'll throw that at Blair. We'll see. I'm sure we can squeeze it in there somewhere.
Okay, do you have a meeting coming up shortly? You'll just work with Blair.
We have multiple emails daily, so.
Okay. Yeah, you're coming up on your big event. Okay.
Hey, Sandy, it's Eudora. Sorry to bother you.
You're not bothering us.
Is it okay if I had if anybody was interested in restaurant night, can we just hang on to this meeting and just discuss after everybody else drops off? So if
Yeah.
anybody's still interested in staying to talk for like 5 minutes about the restaurant nights, I can just give them extra information and get their information and email them the spreadsheets then. If anybody wants to stay and talk about that for like a couple minutes right after you're finished, that would be great.
Great. Yeah. Anybody who's interested in helping out with restaurant nights, Eudora has
Yes.
a really great spreadsheet of many contacts,
I'll share that. Yeah.
and you could literally just pick 3 to call, and that would just be
Exactly.
so helpful to get us started.
Yes. Thanks, Sandy. Yeah. So just hang on right after, everybody else is done.
Yeah, I'll keep
If
the
not-
meeting going.
Yeah. No worries. And if that doesn't work out, I'll just email you and contact you personally later. No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Eudora.
Eudora, I'm going to drop because I think I'm going to fork into helping in other ways, but reach out to me if you need anything. Okay.
Of course. Yeah. No problem, Marlene.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks.
Okay. I think, let me just look at my list of stuff. I think that was it. I have secured the parking lot security. So we do have security for parking. Just because all the students will have their cars parked there overnight, and we pay one of our faculty. It's actually one of our faculty members, and they just stay overnight until everybody comes to pick up their car and watch the parking lot. So that's been arranged. And I think, overall, I keep telling myself the worst case scenario is everybody has to pay a lot of money to go to grad night. That's the worst case. And we have to carpool because we don't have buses. So yeah, fundraising and buses. I think that's really keeping me up at night.
Well, if we don't have buses, it'll be cheaper.
That's true, because we'll carpool, but and then I need to figure out what we have to do for that as far as getting drivers. Probably like what we do for our athletes, right? Where you just have to sign up as a parent that you can drive and you have enough insurance. And then we have to have parents that agree that they're willing to stay until 1 a.m. to drive all the kids back. So, but I think it'll work, right? We'll figure this out. So, okay. I think that's it. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, if you want to stay to chat about restaurant nights, please stay on. Otherwise, thank you everybody for joining us, and look for a follow-up email and the next meeting. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thanks, Sandy.
Hi, Eudora.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, no, we need as much support as we can get.
Interested in restaurant night, please just hang on for like a few minutes. I'll like find my spreadsheet and I'll share it with everybody.
And everybody can unmute themselves. The meeting's not set up so that you can't unmute yourself. This is
questions or any. I'm just terrible at this technology stuff, so I need to find my. I'm so sorry.
I put my video on so you weren't staring at all black screens, black boxes, Sandy.
Thanks, Mara.
That's typically my kind of MO for meetings. I'm like, okay.
Well, I see Flora there, but Flora is in the dark. Like I can kind of see her face, but
I'm looking for
there's
my.
no light where she is.
Ah,
Okay, so we have Elizabeth, Sonia, Margaret,
Yes.
Anne, and Judy.
Yes, sorry. I am just trying to get my spreadsheet. But in general,
Do you want me to? Let's see if I can do this.
you have it.
I can make you a host, and then
Yes, I even have to have a link to it. So
you can share your
Um,
screen.
yeah, of
You know how
course.
to do share screen?
Yes, that should be no problem. I'm just, this is not my normal computer, so so sorry. I'm just this is why I can't, make, can't make flyers to pass out those types of things. It's such a challenge. I'm sorry, everyone, but,
It's fine, Eudora.
okay, thank
Hey,
you.
S-
Thanks
hey,
for.
Sandy.
Yes.
Can you hear me? It's Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi. One thing I was just thinking about was how many senior night games do we have left for the year, and how long are we selling tickets for? Because I was just wondering if there could be a table at senior night, since we don't have parents actually coming to school as often. And they tend to come for that event for their kid.
Oh, senior night athletic events.
Mm-hmm.
So what have we got left?
So basketball finished, and that was usually the biggest one, and we normally did do a fundraiser there, but we just missed that one. So I'm not sure, the spring sports are starting right up now. I don't think their senior nights are until like mid-April or whatever. So
I know
Yeah.
softball
the
is
boat
like
on that
May.
sport thing.
Yeah, and swimming is earlier because their last home game is in March, I believe. So they're coming up,
Oh, okay.
but we could definitely have a table there because the parents will be there.
So yes, so thank you everyone who's, so that's a good point. Definitely, yeah.
Okay, that's an idea though. Definitely. I'll Mara, does the athletic boosters have access to all the senior nights? All the different
I'm sure Jeff knows when senior nights are. I'm just thinking like, I know baseball's not until late.
Right.
Because it's kind of a long season.
Yeah.
They're
So
still
the
in
timing might not work
scrimmages.
out, huh?
Yeah, softball is like May, like mid-May. So baseball is probably around the corner around the same time.
Okay.
Right, okay.
I can email Jeff Scheller and ask him
See if there's anything else that.
what the list is, and then see if we can
Okay.
get some people there.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen for this is last year's restaurant nights for the senior parents that shared it with me. And they were pretty organized and approached a bunch. If you look at the profit they made in the column C, it's not a whole ton of money, honestly. So it could have been because it was during pandemic. That's possible? And we were just starting back up, and they haven't had grad night in a few years as well. But they did approach a few places, and so it doesn't make a lot of money, but I know, as Sandy will tell you, every little bit will help. It's just something that because you're trying to request a percentage of whatever profit they're making, you're not going to get a whole lot anyway, unless you have like some giant event. So they asked a couple of different restaurants, and which said yes on the left-hand column. And so these are they told me that in general what works best is if you phone call, they'll usually just go to voicemail. If you email, it doesn't really get response. So I've gone to a couple places downtown personally, and I have been at least seeing the person, the manager or whatever at the restaurant there. So if you do know a restaurant, or if you frequent a place a lot, a restaurant that you like a lot, that's probably the best way to do it. If you are asking for donation, or, for a restaurant night fundraiser. I personally hate asking for money, but it wasn't that hard to say, hey, the person, in the afternoon when it's a little slow, may I speak to the manager? This is what we're doing. And, I only asked pretty much the people that were on this list so far, so that they were familiar with us. They knew what, they did it before, so they knew what I was talking about. So at least, they could understand what was happening. So we have, I've asked Celia's, and their manager will get back to me. I have not tried BJ's in Foster City or that Bridgepoint. Haven't tried any of those chains yet. I know Liz mentioned North Beach Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Another pizza place that I know that we've done and I don't know if we want to do competing ones, but Pizza My Heart has done restaurant nights for us. I think it was with our band a few years ago. I know I've gone there and did that. So I think we could get at least one pizza place.
Eudora, I'm pretty sure Mod Pizza, they do fundraisers and I can go, I'll take that
Okay,
one.
so check it.
'Cause
So the one by Bridgepoint, is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's also,
Pizza possibly.
oh,
And then I think they also did Celia's campus drive, but I don't know if people will actually go out that far. Last year's contact told me that the Celia's worked because as you can see, that it just depends on the restaurant, how much they'll give you. They did do like one night, but they were able to get like a whole group or like a team dinner or something. So a whole bunch of people went all at the same time. And, you know, if you can coordinate it correctly, I think probably just means some legwork, working ahead of time to get the date out and everything. Then they were able to get more money that way. B Street and Vine, they're going to give us another week. It's in March, right before spring break that week. They'll give us the whole week. They told me that, he told me today, he said, well, honestly, it didn't bring a whole lot of money. It's not usually the kind of restaurant that I guess kids would normally go to. So this one, it is a community restaurant. It's, you know, locally owned. So if we were trying to push this, we would have to just get the flyers out and just encourage families or parents to say, hey, you know, support our seniors. It's just all marketing, right? It's like, you know, take your girlfriends out, you know, it's all day. You can go at lunch, you know, plan a special lunch if you're doing this just that week, if you're planning to do something, you know, so it's just the way you know, encourage people to go. But so he said it was not very much money and he thought it was a little bit of a bummer last year, but he's willing to let us try again. I think Chipotle, they will do one, but they decided not to do it last year because you do need a minimum of $150. And I don't think they thought that they wouldn't be able to get that. So that didn't happen. Some of the other, so on the bottom of their list that they had a couple places like Mod Pizza, Jeffrey's, Cheesecake, those places, they were going to try it, but they didn't end up getting dates or whatever. So again, like I said, this year, so if you, I can send you the spreadsheet personally for this year so far. These are just places that I've started to approach, but have not done really anything. And we can just get this list going and the dates going. And I will update the dates section as we get any in. So mainly, I guess it's going to approaching a restaurant, probably something that you know, or something that, you know, you might have a connection to and can, you know, that can encourage them that we would go. And then the other part is I probably need help just some of these places. If you click on this, on the links here, these are last year's flyers that they made. And if you have any, even if you don't want to approach any restaurants, if you have a little bit of, you know, expertise in trying to make up a flyer, that would be great help because I'm just terrible at that. As you can see, I could barely, you know, get onto the Zoom meeting. So that would be also very helpful. So those types of things, either having a connection with the restaurant, and if you don't, you know, getting the word out, and or making a flyer, any of those things would be really helpful for the fundraising in this committee. So let me know if those are any of those items that you could do. It doesn't have to take up a lot of time, but, you know, just either approaching a restaurant or working with us to get the flyers out and get the word out for a restaurant that we do have, that would be wonderful. So please do email me directly if you have any ideas or want to try approaching something or need some help with something. That would be great. And thank you for any of you who have already, you know, offered to, you know, help in any way. So really appreciate that. Does anybody have questions or anything about that?
Do we have a tax ID?
We do.
Okay,
so sorry. So
is it the PTO?
So yes. So basically, Andy already gave me a request letter. It is on the 2023 page of this Google Doc. So I can send out this. So if you see that, she has sent me a letter that so when I go to the restaurants, you can fill out this letter that she's already made with the, you know, I'm terrible at this. The information is all at the bottom with the tax ID. And it just says, hey, this is my name, blah, blah, blah. It's all at the bottom. Sorry, for some reason, my screen is like not sharing it with you, but it has the tax ID and all that stuff at the bottom of the sheet that she sent me. So you could just pop in, your name and, an email that they can contact you with if they want to follow up with you. And you could just hand them this letter when you go in. So you're not just going in with nothing to leave with them. So thank you, Sandy, for that. That is helpful. So if the manager or whatever is not there, just leave them this. It has tax ID information and just say, hey, can I follow up with you like in a couple of days? Let me know if there's any dates that you could share with us. And then that's pretty much all you need to do. Is that the tax ID? I think it is the PTO.
It is the PTO.
Okay.
Tax
So
ID.
it's all on this letter. If you want to access this letter, I think it's on Word and then you can fill it in.
Because Grad Night is basically sponsored by the
PTO.
So
Got it. Okay.
it
Yeah.
is a
If you
not
can,
for profit. Yeah.
if you can send me the letter with the tax ID, because Starboard, or sorry, not Starboard, Mod Pizza, they do. I knew that you can apply for the fundraiser online.
Yes.
Some of the
I will
larger
send
chains.
everybody.
Can you share all of this with information with us so we can get to the sample links for the flyers, the letter, and all that stuff?
Yeah, exactly. So I put it in the chat, but I will email everybody so that you can.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I might be
the
able
spreadsheet.
to. I know somebody who actually works at Lazy Dog, so I might be able to
Oh,
go there.
so I've never tried them. I've actually never even been yet, but I heard wildly popular. So if you know somebody there just to see, hey, do you guys do this?
Yeah, I could tap that one.
That would be awesome. And then again, once you got the connection, we could help either make a flyer, and if they don't have one, and then try to get the word out. The rest of us could just be like, getting it on the daily bulletin, that kind of, or organizing a party or whatever. Thank you, Judy. That would be awesome.
Yeah, sure.
We can promote a
I will
doggy
email
play
everybody.
date at Lazy Dog.
Sorry.
You could what?
Sandy?
A doggy play date at Lazy Dog.
That would be
There
fun.
you go.
Lazy Dog. It is actually, they have menu items for your dogs.
They do. Yeah, if you sit outside with them.
Yeah.
That is super cool. I think that, again, spring is coming, so I think people are, I do see that people are willing to go out and eat more this year. So, if we are eating out, why not, support our causes at the same time, right? So.
We can also try and hit the teams, with the flyers for the restaurant nights.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So some of these
Team bonding.
I think, if teams go, or if, seniors and go with their friends or whatever, I think it's also quite, maybe not Beach Street and Vine, but maybe something that's more accessible to them. Or pizza place or whatever. I think they might also be able to go if they see the flyer and they have that. So.
Well, and I'm wondering if it might help if we just actually have paper flyers to hand out to people.
Yes, exactly. So
it's like people don't, you have to remember to print it, or you have to show it to them to actually get this. So if maybe we assign our kids or even the senior class council to hand them out at lunch, say, look, we're trying to make money for your senior class. Can you pass out these flyers?
Absolutely, Sandy. So for example, for the Beach Street and Vine one that we already have, I know there's lots of information at open house already, but if we have the QR code there, and if we have maybe a little flyer, on the table saying, here, take a flyer and go next week or whatever, 2 weeks from now to, this fundraiser, then we have those things available. People might take it. I know that restaurant said they would also accept on their phone as well. So if they have it on their phone, we will, put it in the daily bulletin. They can show it, their phone when they get there as well. So, having the paper one is helpful, just, if we actually are seeing live people. So.
Yeah, definitely. Let's print up some of those flyers for the.
I definitely will. He's going to send it to me. I'll print it all out and just have them ready to go. And like you said, to pass out. But
perfect.
Thank you. So yes. So if you have any more ideas, or, can also help with the flyers or anything, or organizing groups for the restaurants, just let me know, and hopefully we can get this going and, contribute a little bit to the cause.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
It's Elizabeth again.
Yes.
What about do places like Tea Pump or Share Tea or Teaspoon, like, is it worth asking to do a fundraiser with them, or would that not be like they have a minimum?
do. I know Tea Pumps doesn't. Sandy, do you remember what it was? I know
Yeah, we did tea pumps at the International Food Fair for the class of 2019.
And we've done it for the senior night at the basketball thing. You have to pay a certain, I thought it was
you buy all the drinks up front.
You buy a whole bunch of them and you can sell them for a certain price. And so that's what your profit is. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. You buy all the drinks
you have to buy.
and then you got to sell them. Yeah. So if you don't,
they sell it to you for like $3 or $4 and you can sell them for $5. So you're earning the dollar or something. I can't remember how many you're allowed to. And there's,
I think they also give you extra. I remember Kaya did that one year, junior year. So they give you more than you even buy. So they give you a bunch extra and then you end up making money that way too.
Okay. So I guess, that's something that you might want to check out. I haven't even looked into that
what would be
the
time to do tea pumps is that senior activity day. Although let's just be the seniors.
You wouldn't sell
the whole
them.
school. We want to try to get the whole school.
Right.
Maybe you could do tea pumps at open house.
So yeah, Sandy, since there's no International Food Fair, it looks like when I look at the open house, it says there's some kind of dinner fundraiser, but they didn't say who was doing it this year or what. Do you know if anybody's selling things this year? I know.
Yeah, no. I've been working with Gary on that. I already told him I think we're canceling it because I have not had anybody interested in actually preparing food and setting up tables.
Exactly. Is there anything else that somebody would be interested in? I know the seniors used to do like Costco pizza and sell it at the back to school night, but that was for the senior class. It wasn't for it was just for their own class money. I don't know if anybody's, because there are people who come right after work and they're hungry, but I don't know if you have anything going. Like, did you want to try to do something, or
do you think we could try to pull something together? We have 3 weeks.
I know. I don't know how and I don't want you to do this.
We could try. But I need to let Gary know pretty soon, because I told him I
just wasn't sure if Latino parents were doing something or another.
No.
I mean, we could just do a bake sale because
I guess
that's easy.
A bake sale,
and cookies appeal to people. Well, I guess
like something smallish snacks that are ready made. You could.
Yeah.
We could ask people to donate, like, they've donated for other events, like prepackaged cookies that they've made, and we can get it the day before or something like that, and have a stand set up, and if they're all donated, different types of cookies, like you'd sell to concessions, a couple bucks a pop. I mean, it's not going to get a lot of money, but you might make a couple $100.
Yeah, the thing is with open house.
Hey, Mara, you don't have anything left at Snack Shack, right?
Yeah.
You don't have
Snack Shack. No, I think
it's all done, right?
I think Flora donated whatever was
Gotcha.
left.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of.
I can ask her, but
I was just curious.
Yeah, I know she doesn't like to.
And,
I'll ask her. I'll text her right now.
Cup of noodles.
Cup of noodles.
Just thought.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying, Eudora. Like, we could maybe do the pizzas and just everybody.
Yeah, or something that's just kind of easy and pre-packed and just not something that because you can't really get the other the whole.
Like, there will be pizza for sale at this table. And then the more we're talking about putting all this information on a table with a QR code and all the grad night stuff, I'm thinking I'm going to have to ask them to put another table out in the rotunda for us.
I think you need more tables.
Because I think attaching it to the PTO table is not going to work. Because it's going to take up too much space.
I agree. I think they need their own table.
We're going to need our own table. So I'll have to get to Gary about that, adding another table just for grad night.
Okay.
Right. And can we put some kind of fundraiser together that night where people buy pizza. What other kind of food?
The raffle tickets, pizza, all at one place, and just for good cause kind of thing. I don't know. It's
Like, come here, we're going to take all your money. Yeah.
Yeah, check with Gary and see if that's okay or not. So
Okay.
great.
Yeah, I'm supposed to follow up with him tomorrow morning. So
Perfect. Thank you. Okay.
okay.
All right. No, thank you so much, everybody, for staying on. And I'll send out my spreadsheet and see if anybody, has anything they want to contribute to the restaurant stuff. And then thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, Eudora.
Thank you. Cool.
Thank you, everybody, for
Thanks.
staying on.
Yeah.
And for all the help.
Yes.
Thank you.
I can't believe it's just 3 months. It's crazy.
And,
I'm happy to go to Ask Share Tea or Teaspoon, which is the new place in downtown San Mateo, if they'll do any fundraisers and just see what they have to offer.
okay.
Yeah,
That would be
I'm happy
great.
to do
Okay,
that.
so I'll put it on the list and then just see what their, what their thoughts are, like how
Yeah.
many you can sell things and that kind of thing. Great.
Mhm.
Thanks so much. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe we could even just sell that at the
Exactly.
open house. Have
Okay.
the boba tea thing.
Great. Awesome. I mean, any little bit helps, right?
Yeah, actually, our neighbor who lives down the street, she's a junior at San Mateo High, and she actually works at Teaspoon. So
Okay.
that might be our in.
Yeah. Just to see, see what
Yeah.
on offer. Great. Thank
So-
you.
Gary's going to wonder like what he should post in the blurb then about open house. Should we just say there will be a table with snacks to purchase and tea? Or
I guess it just depends on what you can get. Again, you
what
can't
we
do
can
this by
get?
Cindy, so it just depends on what you can get.
Yeah.
If
I'll
you,
tell him to say it's pending.
okay.
Updated in the next week.
Yeah, you could probably email our whole group that met tonight and say, hey, we're looking at open house for, who can help like with
Donations.
yeah, like either gathering like, I don't know, a bunch of Costco pizza, what they used to do, or I'm not sure how that worked, honestly, or some other like a snack thing, like you said, snacks, some kind of snacks and tea pumps and
Yeah.
okay.
Heat pumps and Costco pizza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's.
I mean, that's not a bad dinner, honestly.
Yeah. And then, but Costco pizzas are, I don't even know how much they are, $12?
Something like that. So I think it would just be organizing and ordering and getting the pizza to the,
Yeah.
So
And then we
that's how
sell
you
it
do
by
that,
the
right?
slice
Uh-huh. Right.
and try to make $10 on a pizza or something, or more than that. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
How about Costco cookies?
Yep. Yeah. Or something like that. Yep. Uh-huh. That's a good idea too. Yes. Yeah. Those types of things. Would that work, Sandy? I mean, I guess you just have to it's like getting it and.
So I'm getting confused with, so we have back to school night where I know all the boosters and the rotunda have food out.
Yeah.
For open house, we don't have anything, right?
I think we used to have the International Food Fair in the olden days.
Yeah, the olden days.
Right.
So we don't have
So
anything,
people
right, in the
would go to the
rotunda.
little gym and like, get a snack because that was the thing. So right now we have nothing this year.
Nothing. There's no, yeah.
So I
Okay.
guess,
So maybe we take off on that.
okay. So check to see what Gary will approve and like,
Okay.
do we have to put it, say, in the quad or can we do in the rotunda or that kind of thing?
Yeah, more people come through the,
Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know where you'll get the traffic.
yeah. I would think the quad, because they're gonna have the music out in the quad.
Mhm. And then you have people passing through that way, right?
Yeah. Everybody's gonna walk through the quad, so.
Right. Especially if the weather's clear, right? So.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Hopefully the weather will be clear.
Mhm.
I mean, it used to be that the International Food Fair was out in the quad and then it rained. class of 2018. And then
Yeah.
it was moved.
Boring, yes. I don't
the
remember it
full
being-
gym.
yeah. Okay,
So,
thank,
Okay,
thanks.
let's call it a night. Thank you,
you so much.
everybody.
Okay, look forward to hearing from you all. Thanks.
Yes.
Thank
Alright.
you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for coming.
Night.